is going on? This is the Bottom Line Podcast. Welcome to the premiere of our podcast right here on YouTube. I'm Jimmy Finizzi alongside Neil Villapiano. Neil, first things first, I'm really excited to be expanding our platform right here on YouTube. How are you?
I'm doing great, and just like you, I'm very excited that we decided to do this, and it's going to be a good way for people to kind of get to know us a little bit more and kind of see the men behind the voices, as I would like to say, for the podcast. But it's great, and I'm looking forward to people joining on us on this incredible journey.
Yeah, and also how we've been looking since quarantine started, but that's a whole nother story.
I mean, you look a little bit more cleaned up. I look like where I definitely have.
The only place where I don't look cleaned up is my hair, which is a bit bushy right now. Although you probably can't really tell right now. But
compared to me, really, like trying to make it seem like the world is coming to an end. Come on.
Come on. Your hair looks a lot more cleaner than mine, at least this time around. At least to me.
Okay. Are you blind? No, like, honestly, are you blind? Like, this is video, right? Like, you can see me.
I'm aware. I'm aware.
I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody look at this right now. Hold on. Everybody look at this. It's curled up in the back. That's how bad it is. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, that looks like nothing.
Whatever you say.
What we're here to talk about today.
Whatever you say, my man. But no, in all seriousness, Neil and I thank you so much for allowing us to expand our platform, and because of your support, we were able to do this. So thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. It really does mean a lot. You can also listen to us in audio form on Anchor.fm and also on Apple, Google, and Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can just search for the Bottom Line Podcast, but you must include my first name, which is Jimmy, Jimmy. That is the only way you are going to find this particular podcast, because there are a million other podcasts named The Bottom Line. So the only way you're going to find this one is if you search for The Bottom Line Podcast and my first name, which is Jimmy. So there's that.
I think I searched The Bottom Line on YouTube yesterday when you first made the channel.
Right.
And I think I saw there's like maybe 30 or 40 other YouTube channels. So I was like, wait, so I had to search your name, which I actually came across. And I'm going to embarrass you a little bit. I came across some videos that you made like 7-8 years ago.
Oh my! Oh, don't tell me you found the Red Zone Analyst.
I did.
My God!
I found it by accident. No, because I thought maybe because I didn't realize you hadn't had it set up yet. So I was like, oh, okay. I guess he's not ready yet. But while I'm here, might as well dabble in what Jimmy used to do.
Oh my
God!
Check
it out. Go type in Jimmy on YouTube and watch.
Yeah, if you don't know, and for those that have known me for a while, I used to do another sports, well, not separate channel, but kind of like on my own personal channel. I made my own playlist called The Red Zone Analyst, which is kind of like what I'm doing now with Neil, except this platform is a lot more expanded than Red Zone Analyst used to be. Because that used to be strictly on YouTube, and I would just pick specific topics to talk about each week. So a little bit different. And plus, I was younger and an idiot back then, so I had no idea what I'm talking about. But
don't say that. You weren't. No, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm only kidding.
It doesn't hurt, because you might as well just keep putting your name out there. That's what I say.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But anyway, in all seriousness, we do thank you once again for your support. We are really excited to start our new journey right here on YouTube. So just to get to know each other a little bit here, Neil, if you don't mind, I will kick things off here.
Well, before you start, my only question to you is this. I know you don't live that far away from me, but is it dark all of a sudden? Like, I can only see half of your face.
Here's the thing. And by the way, in case you're wondering, in the video intro where it says coming to you from the Jersey Shore at Monmouth County Studios, by Monmouth County Studios, we mean our own homes. So I'm in my room right now. Neil's in his room. And my room particularly wants to give off a little bit more light and a little more darkness than most rooms. So if it does turn a little bit darker on my end, I do apologize about that, because the sun apparently does not like me for some reason. But I digress.
And I can do this. Now everybody,
that's the one advantage you have. At least you can do that. I can't yet. I need a green screen to pull that off.
And I think depending on whatever we talk about, I think I'm going to have a background thing. I was actually thinking for the first topic that we were going to discuss that was going to be on the YouTube channel, I was going to have a picture for every single person that I pick. I think that would be. I think I might try that. So we'll see.
That would be very, very fitting.
So yeah, I have this. Oh gee, I have a lot. Like I have a lot of different backgrounds, and I'm laughing because like I even have this one.
Oh my god!
I think if you
the freaking Tiger King, really.
Yeah, and then you got other ones. You got some good ones. I got good ones here. I mean, I got my own. I got
that one. There you go. And by the way, subscribe to the Mofobo Network YouTube channel. You can search for the Mofobo Network or for Neil Villapiano's full name. You'll be able to find it. And also to his own podcast in audio form on Spotify and also on Anchor.fm. And also be sure to subscribe to his new podcast, which will be debuting this week, called Devil's State of Mind, which will be premiering this week. Like I said, you can find it on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. You can find it everywhere you go, and especially on SoundCloud on the Hockey Podcast Network. What?
We're not doing Snapchat. That's a waste of time.
It is.
You can't promote anything on there. Like you can't.
Yeah,
you can try.
Pretty much.
I have tried, and I hope it's worked, but like, no, it's not worth it. But yeah. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I actually have a poll on the Devil's State of Mind Twitter for Devils fans and even other hockey fans. If they just want to chime in, it's fine. About who we think should be the next general manager of the team. And that's going to be one of the topics of discussion on the first episode, which is premiering on Monday. So we're recording today on Sunday.
Yep, June 7th, and it'll premiere on June 8th.
Yep.
So at the time of this recording, you'll probably be hearing it as soon as it premieres. But anyway, though, just to get to know each other. What's that?
I'll explain it more when it's my turn.
No, it's all good. But anyway, just to get to know each other a little more. So my name is Jimmy, as I mentioned before. I'm born and raised on the Jersey Shore, like Neil is right here. So as you could probably tell by my hat, I'm a diehard New York Yankees fan. I am also a diehard New York Giants fan and a diehard New York Rangers fan. I got into sports. Yeah. Maybe to you, but not to me.
You live in Jersey, and it's such a bad. Such a bad.
That was the team I first got into when I first watched hockey, but I'll get to that in a little bit. But I first got into sports when I want to say, around 96, 97. So I was still a little toddler at the time, but that was really when I first got into sports. My first live sporting event that I watched was actually a New York Yankees game when they were in the playoffs. I forget exactly what game it was, but I'll have to dive deep into my memory banks for that one. But so yeah, I was basically into sports my whole life, and I got into the Yankees first. So baseball should technically be my number one, but as the years went on, it's gradually changed. Hockey is now my number one. Baseball, well, actually, no. Football is my number two. Baseball is my number three. In case you're wondering why I do not have basketball included, it is because I'm not the biggest basketball fan in the world, although
he doesn't believe in basketball.
I will watch it in terms of the playoffs, because that to me is when it gets really, really exciting. There's always that exciting sprint to the finish to see who's going to win the championship. But
you're one of those
with the NBA coming back with the new playoff format, and maybe it might turn me into a Brooklyn Nets fan or something. Who knows? But because I'm probably not going to deal with
Steve. Don't listen to Steve and try to have him convince you to be a Knicks fan. Actually, I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun if you actually just became of a team randomly. Like, just pick someone random. Don't pick a good team. Pick Denver.
Trust me, I'm not going down that road, and I'm not going down the Knicks road. That's another discussion for another day.
You got to pick the Denver Nuggets. They're going to win it all this year. It's a hot take today. Denver Nuggets with Jamal Murray and a slimmer Nikola Jokic are going to dominate the tournament.
We'll see. It could be them. It could be the Lakers. Could be the Clippers. Hey, we'll see. We'll see when the time comes.
It could be the Pacers.
Oh my goodness! a little dark horse pick right there. I like that. But
it could be the Wizards. They could come out.
Oh my God!
Somehow win it all. I understand that.
But anyway, though, so back to I guess, how I basically got into sports, just for a little bit, because I want to give a little background on how I started this particular podcast. So Yankees were the first team I've watched. The Rangers I got into not until like later, when I was like maybe in middle school, like maybe 6th, 7th grade is when I really got into the New York Rangers. My mom is also a diehard hockey fan, so she's the one that got me into the Rangers, so I got to thank my mom for that. My dad, not so much, although he will watch some hockey games here and there, but he's still learning, so we're trying to teach him a little bit.
You gotta tell us what football team is your dad a fan of?
Trust me, I'll get into that.
Gotta get into that.
I'll get into that right now, actually. So as far as football, it's not me, but my entire family is weird when it comes to football. I am a diehard Giants fan. I first got into the Giants, when I was like 10, maybe I got into the Giants really. But I didn't really watch football as a little kid. But my dad had, when I was a baby, he had my entire room decorated with Dallas Cowboys stuff. So and yes, my dad is a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan, in case you do not know. But
that hurts. I
can deal with it. I can deal with it because I love him. I can tolerate it. He's my dad. I have to. But anyway,
my brain hurts from just hearing it. Oh God.
But anyway, yeah, he would have my entire room decorated with Cowboy stuff. I even had my own little, like, one of those like gym lockers that you like, one of those toy gym lockers that you could place like your stuff in. I had one of those little Cowboys gym lockers. I was like, it's a cool souvenir. But right up until like I was like, when I was like 10 years old, I became a Giants fan really, because I really wasn't into football as a baby. But as I got into like more and like my teens, I really got into football a lot more. So I became a diehard Giants fan. So I'm a Giants fan. My dad is a Cowboys fan. And my mom is a Los Angeles Rams fan. I know, very, very weird. Because here's the thing. There was a quarterback. I forget the guy's name. It always slips my head who the quarterback is. But he played in like the early 70s. And, my grandpa, who is also a Giants fan like me, my mom basically said to him, "Hey, Dad, that quarterback looks like you. I'm going to like this team." And basically my mom was a Rams fan since then, and she has not turned back. And to my mom's defense, at least the Rams went to a Super Bowl recently, but that's another argument for another day. But
how'd that go, by the way? I just want to know.
Yeah, not so good. But anyway,
mom really enjoyed that Super Bowl.
But anyway, that's pretty much how I got into sports. But now, as far as this podcast is concerned, oh my goodness, I started this podcast like January of 2017, so 3 years ago is when I started this podcast. It all started as it's just me sitting behind this microphone, not the same one you see. I've used different microphones in the past. This is probably one of the best ones I have right now. But it all just started with just me, just little old me having no idea what I was doing, knowing no idea how to run a podcast at the time. Yeah. Although I figured it out as time progressed, but it started out as just me back in 2017. And then when 2019 came along, I started having this man right here come on periodically. And then I officially made him my co-host late last year, early this year. And you know what? The podcast has skyrocketed since then. And I am very, very lucky and fortunate to not only have Neil on board to do this, but to have the podcast currently where it is right now, especially the fact that we are now expanding it right here on YouTube and also on Apple, Google, and Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. But I have just been very, very fortunate to see how far this has come. And yeah, that's basically about me. Neil, floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much for the very nice comments, Jimmy. I greatly appreciate it. I do want to answer that one question that your mom was wondering about, and your name. God. I'm gonna ask, and I'm gonna just label some names, and you tell me if I'm right.
Okay.
And by the way, this type of stuff that you're seeing me doing is stuff that we actually end up doing in the middle of the show anyway. So
yes.
Was it John Hadel Does that name ring a bell?
No, that was not him,
it's
actually.
fine. How about Vince Ferragamo?
That sounds like him.
That
Yes,
was him?
that sounds
Yeah.
like him.
Funny enough, they made a movie based off of him, where he leads the Rams to the Super Bowl, and it was basically the same. I forgot the name of the movie, and I feel bad. But yeah, Vince Ferragamo, he actually led the Rams in 1979 to the Super Bowl when they got beat by the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, that was the first time the Rams went to the Super Bowl in LA.
Okay.
And then obviously twice. It's interesting how, speaking of the Rams, they've actually been to the Super Bowl twice, being from LA, and twice being from St. Louis.
Yep. And they won one in St. Louis in like '99.
Yeah, the greatest show on turf, which is still awesome.
Yep, absolutely.
But yeah, I guess it's my turn to kind of introduce myself. And
yes, it is.
As people like to say, I have quite a long list of things that I try to go through. So, very similar to Jimmy, as I grew up, being in a sports-crazed family with my uncle, Phil Villapiano, being a former NFL player. He played for the Oakland Raiders in the 70s, won a Super Bowl, played in Super Bowl 11 with John Madden and Kenny the Snake Stabler and people like that. So a lot of people tend to recognize me from my last name, but, he kind of was one of those guys that got me into sports. Also, my dad and my family in general, like I mentioned, are just huge sports fans. I kind of have a pretty big list of teams that I kind of am a fan of. I'll kind of keep it small. I'll kind of just use American because there's also, soccer in Europe and things like that I actually have gotten into. But with baseball, I actually like three teams. I'm a Yankee fan, I'm a Phillies fan, and I'm a Pirates fan. And I became a fan of those three teams through my family. I kind of became a fan of a lot of teams through my family in general. As far as basketball, I have been a Nets fan my whole life, even when they were still in Jersey. I actually was a season ticket holder in 2008, 07-08, I believe was the year, if my memory is correct, when they played in the old Izod Center. So for any of you New Jersey Nets fans,
that ancient building.
It's still, and it's funny because it's still there. I don't know what to use it for, but it's still there. So you got the Nets, still a Nets fan even now. I was a Nets fan before they got Katie and Kyrie. So don't try to make it look like I'm being a front runner, because I'm not.
I believe you.
Hockey. Well, for those of you that don't know, hockey is my biggest passion. Jimmy and I actually work together for the Jersey Shore Whalers of the USPHL, which is a junior hockey team that plays out of Farmingdale, New Jersey. And
by the way, I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize, Neil, but that stands for the United States Premier Hockey League, in case you want to look that up. Go to USPHL.com.
Which is now ranked as the number one United States junior hockey league in the country. So that should be noted. Jimmy is the play-by-play guy, and I am the color commentator / camera person. So yes. I multitask all the time. I'd like to say I do a pretty good job with the camera.
Oh, no, you do. You do. Absolutely.
And you can check out our games, the games that we broadcast on Hockey TV.
Yes.
You got to get a subscription. So that's how it goes. But it's an opportunity for kids to play on some form of television, get people to check them out. And, it's a great thing. And it's fun because we get to talk about the sport that we both love the most, and that is the game of hockey. But, yeah,
absolutely.
I actually didn't get into hockey till about 2006. So I was about 9 years old, and that was because of the Edmonton Oilers, actually. They kind of got me into the sport because I watched them play in the Stanley Cup Finals against Carolina. And fun fact, I was so into it that I actually wrote them a letter, and they sent this gift basket back that had all these different things, including an Oilers ornament that I still put on the Christmas tree. So it's kind of a cool thing.
That's awesome.
I got a Chris Pronger or something like that figurine. So that was kind of cool. So yeah, I kind of thought for a while I was going to probably be an Edmonton Oilers fan, but once I found out there was a team in New Jersey, obviously that's who I became a fan of. So I became a fan of the Devils. I also became a fan of the San Jose Sharks because my dad lived out in San Jose for quite some time, and we did watch San Jose Sharks games when I started really getting into hockey. So those are my two things. And I'm also a diehard Quebec Nordiques fan. I know that they don't exist right now, but I'm telling you in the next 5 years they will. Because if they can expand to Vegas and they can expand to Seattle, they should definitely expand back to Quebec, because I think those Quebecers deserve a team, and I think that they are capable of having a successful team. So I would love to see them come back. But, that's hockey. What I say? Basketball. I have to remember the sport. Football, yes.
There you go.
I have to remember the 4 major sports in the country. Football, Giants fan. Been a Giants fan my whole life. My brother is a Jets fan, so we have a little bit of that. We don't really have a rivalry because both of our teams suck, but it's kind of how it goes right now. But I'm also a Raiders fan, not surprisingly, because of the fact that my uncle played for them.
Right.
People said, well, he also played for the Bills. Why do you want to be a Bills fan? And it's like, I mean, really? Like, I don't
He's known for playing with the Raiders more.
Exactly. And it's a little bit, he just didn't make that much of a contribution in Buffalo as well known as what he did with the Raiders. So,
and also, fun fact, I know you know this, your uncle actually was involved in the Immaculate Reception.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Anyway.
Sorry.
No,
Sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. You just, rub some lemon juice in the wound. That's fine. It's totally cool. I have over the last, I would say 3 or 4 years, I have gotten into soccer or football, however you want to say it is fine, because of my friend Steve. Shout out to him. So I watched the Red Bulls, the New York Red Bulls to be specific. Bayern Munich is the team I like in Germany. In France, PSG, or Paris Saint-Germain, which, if people want to know what that means. I guess in Spain, Atletico Madrid. And you're in the UK, because I have family that live in this area, family friends, excuse me. I'm a fan of Liverpool. So
all right.
So there's that. And there are other minor league teams and things like that I'm a fan of, but I'm not going to go into that specifically. So yeah, that's kind of like the fandom that for those of you that want to know. As far as what it came to broadcasting, well, I was like a lot of kids growing up that I wanted to originally be a professional athlete, and it did become more realistic by, I would say, high school, that it was definitely not going to be the case. So it was about figuring out what do I want to do. Mm-hmm. And my parents took me to these sports broadcasting camps that are hosted by Jeremy Treatman. They're very well known. Play-by-play camps is what it's called. Go check that out if you have a son or daughter, or even yourself if you're interested. They have camps. I don't know if they're going to try to have any this year because unfortunately we're dealing with the coronavirus, but it could change.
Right.
But yeah, I went to a couple of those camps. I went to the one in Villanova. I went to the one up in North Jersey, which was at Montclair State University for a couple of years, and I did that. So and I think that's when a lot of people started to recognize that I was really good at it, and so I started to kind of pursue that from the get-go. And then, when I was in high school and towards the end of my time in high school, I ended up commuting up to Long Island, right by where the New York Islanders play in Uniondale, I want to say.
Yeah, Uniondale.
I went to Hofstra University for a couple summers and a couple also classes during the winter to earn my certification in sports broadcasting and journalism from Hofstra. So shout out to Mike Chisena and Keith Irizarry for helping me get there. And I met a lot of great people. I met some guys in the business like Mike Breen, Kenny Albert, Bruce Beck, Ian Eagle. I've met a lot of these people, and it's been great to get the. And I also met the late Ed Ingalls, who has been an inspiration of mine, and may he rest in peace. I think he just recently passed away the last couple months. So I hope. But he definitely gave me the motivation, because I think he really saw that I could do this. And once I got out of high school, I got an opportunity to work down in South Jersey at a place called Radio Vision Network, which is created and founded by Keith Reynolds. So shout out to Keith and the entire RVN family over there for giving me the opportunity. I was the host of my own show called the NVP Show, not to get construed with MVP. It was NVP, like my initials.
Right.
And I had that for about 3 years. And I want to say from pretty much March, October to now, I've been, doing my own stuff. I have a personal YouTube channel called The MVP Show where you can check out video segments from different college sports teams that I covered. And I'm definitely going to be doing that again. You can check out, like you had mentioned, excuse me, I'm sorry people you had to see that.
You're good.
But I like how this is unfiltered, by the way. This is how people get to really know who we are.
Raw and unfiltered.
Exactly. This is how we gotta. This is, people will take us more seriously if they get to know us a little bit more. But
there you go. That's it.
Yeah. No. I started the Mofobo Network, so I have a YouTube channel, like Jimmy had mentioned, and a podcast as well. The podcast, just like The Bottom Line, is also on Anchor and Spotify, and same thing with YouTube. I also have a Facebook page for the podcast for the network as well. So go check out all those and hear, me just talk about the daily topics that happen in the world of sports. I have, as Jimmy also mentioned, I have begun working for the Hockey Podcast Network. Shout out to Isha Hiromi and Dylan Kaiser for, giving me the opportunity. I am now the official host of the New Jersey Devils podcast, which is called Devils State of Mind. So if you're a Devils fan or just a hockey fan in general, just wanting to listen to a hockey podcast, go check out the Hockey Podcast Network. You can find my podcast. You can find a podcast for basically every team. We also have Hockey to Heroin, which is a great podcast. We have a hockey analytics podcast. I mean, we got it all. Anything you can think of, we got it. So we are, we are expanding. We are continuing to get bigger and bigger, and it's been a lot of fun in just the short time that I've started working for them for this. And my first episode, as we mentioned, is coming out on June 8th. So whenever you're listening to this or wherever you're watching it, June 8th, 2020 is the first episode, and then I'm posting a new episode every Monday. So make sure to check that. And last but not least, as like everybody tells me, I have a paragraph and a half when it comes to introducing myself, but I think this is very important. I have with me my first written book, JETS, Pain, 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 The Pain and Ecstasy. Now, let's forget about the ecstasy of being a New York Jets fan. So it's a book made for fans. That's what this book is for, through the eyes of the fans. You're seeing through all the painful things that have happened to the Jets in their history pretty much since Joe Namath's Super Bowl III victory. That's right. Pretty much what it entails. And, it's a great book. I've had a lot of people, get it already and read it and leave me a lot of comments. And it's on Amazon for the price of $19.69. And if you're a Jets fan or a football fan, you probably guessed why I chose that. So it's available for hardcover like here, or it's available on ebook if you're more of a, I guess you would say, a computer/phone user much more than you are with a physical copy. Make sure you go check this book. And as always, try to contact me. You can follow me on Twitter at THENVPSHOW and on Instagram at NVPQB11. And also I have Facebook as well. You can find me on there. Just search for my name, and you can just let me know what you think of the book. Leave some ratings, leave some comments. I would love to hear it. And so that is that. And I'm in the process of writing my next book. I'm not going to really reveal what it's about because I like to keep suspense. But as far as anything else, that is pretty much it. I don't think I missed out on anything.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I was in the middle of playing NBA 2K before we started.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. But actually,
it's always. I play video games, particularly sports video games, as not really a hobby, but more as something to just pass time if I feel like it. And even though unfortunately my dreams of being a professional athlete kind of died many years ago, at least these video games give me the opportunity to put myself in the game and just imagine for all of an hour or two that maybe that I could have been a professional hockey player or football player or whatever the case may be. But yeah, that's me. That is me. And, I think that's enough. I don't think I think there's a sign that probably says, wrap it up. Let's move on here.
That's all right. You're all good. I actually forgot to mention how I first started broadcasting in general and how I really wanted to do it. So
also, fun fact, by the way,
go ahead.
I first met each other when I was actually touring Modern Day Prep, which is where he went to school, and I went for a year. And we met the first time while you were a senior, if I'm not mistaken, at the time, correct?
I think I was a junior, actually.
I think you were a senior because you were definitely not there when I got there.
Okay.
When I actually started going there, you were definitely already going to. I think you were going to Monmouth, right? You went to Monmouth.
I did go to Monmouth, yes.
Okay. And you'll probably say that again in a minute, but and then I met you again, like something like 5 years later.
Yes.
The next time we met was like 5 years later, and it was just kind of like a shock because like I'm there, introducing myself to Tom Rue, and of course, classic Tom. He goes, "Why are you wearing a suit?" I was wearing a full. I'm not kidding. I was wearing a full suit, trying to look all professional.
I remember you told me that.
Why are you wearing a suit? And you come in. First of all, it was like shocking because I was like, I had not seen you in 5 years, and I remembered you vividly. But you were wearing like a shirt and shorts, like you were like totally casual. And I'm like, did I overdress? Did I miss something? And I kind of got Jimmy into wearing a suit and tie when we do games, because a lot of time when we first started working together, we usually wore like a jacket, the Whalers jacket, because obviously it's freezing cold.
Right.
But now we wear a suit and tie, and I don't know. I just think we look a little bit more dapper. We look a little bit more, I think people start to say, these guys really seem to be taking this seriously, and we do. I mean, we try to do the best we can, and we love working for the Whalers. But that was just something for people to know how we met.
No, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. But no, as far as how I got started with broadcasting, Neil, as you said, I went to Monmouth University in West Long Branch, New Jersey, and I didn't really think of it at the time because I was still deciding like what I really wanted to do. So, come my junior year, there was a class called Working with Audio, I believe. And my old professor, Chris Cavallero, may he rest in peace, unfortunately, he was taken way too soon. He was teaching the class, and that class was basically how to edit like PSAs and show intros for WMCX, so for radio stuff. And he had us record voiceovers. We had to edit it together in Adobe Audition, which I'm sure you're familiar with, Neil.
Yeah, unfortunately, I am.
I mean,
for those of you that don't know,
personally, for me, I kind of like it. I don't know. It was easier for me.
For obviously those that don't know, I just finished graduating from Brookdale Community College. This basically like a month ago.
Right.
I graduated. Obviously, I graduated in my room. I haven't been as fortunate, but yeah, I took a lot of classes very similar to what you did, and I learned about Adobe Audition, Adobe Premiere.
Oh my gosh!
I forgot the other one. It starts with an A, I think. I forgot, and I've learned them all. And
it was an Acrobat, right?
Yes, it was.
Okay, there you go.
That's what it was. And let me just say that, like, there are days where you sit there and you say to yourself, why in God's green earth did they make this technology? And the amount of loopholes you can find, like the amount of like special keys that kind of like do shortcuts. I can't remember half of them.
It's pretty much unlimited at this point.
Oh, yeah, of course. But I edit everything on iMovie, so it's fine.
Yeah, there you go.
A very old version of iMovie, I might add.
Oh my God.
So even though you guys might see videos of me and say, wow, they look so great, it's like, little do you know, I'm using iMovie like 2007. I'm rigging and I record on my phone. So
hey,
you don't need big technology.
You know what? Whatever works for you. I'm not one to judge.
I will say this honestly: the way our field, our careers, or I guess our field is changing so much because everybody a lot of times now is watching on their phones and doing things like YouTube videos, podcasts, and all that. And we're using something like Zoom to record, and it's great because it's very simple, it's very direct and everything. And a lot of those videos that you'll see on the MVP show, and even some of the ones I do on Mofobo down the road, a lot of them are going to be from me recording on my phone.
Right.
So really a lot of the credit goes to the creators from like Motorola and Verizon and all those guys for making cameras that are just getting better and better. So like they deserve a lot of the credit, but like that just shows that it's like changing.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Like my hair is changing all over the place. Sorry.
I think
People are probably wondering, why does he touch his hair so much?
Because it's changed a lot. But anyway, we digress about that. But
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, basically, I took going back to how I began broadcasting. So I took that class with the late great Chris Cavallero, which was my old professor at the time. And like I said, we basically recorded voiceovers and edited them together. And then he actually wound up retiring at the time in the middle of the semester. I forget exactly what happened.
Really?
But
middle of the semester. Oof.
yeah, I forget exactly what happened. But we had a new professor. His name was Eric Reicher, who is also the producer of WMCX and also Hawk TV. So shout outs to Eric Reicher for all the help, and also thank you to the late great Chris Cavallero as well. But yeah, so Eric Reicher taught the rest of the class, and that spring semester was really when I really got intrigued, because there was a talk radio class where you actually got to go in the studio and host your own half-hour talk show. And that was when I really was like, you know what? I'm behind this mic. Yeah. I can really express myself a lot more than I can on TV. This is what I want to do for a living. And then as the years went on at Monmouth, I started to actually get into board up a couple of Monmouth basketball games and a couple of baseball games as well. I actually got to do play-by-play for a couple of Monmouth baseball games as well. So that was a really, really cool experience.
I love that's how baseball team. I'm actually very good friends with the head coach there.
Oh, what a tremendous guy.
Very good. I actually
tremendous.
Fun fact, I went to his baseball camp when I was a kid.
Did you really?
Yes, I went several years in a row to his baseball camp. So he actually remembered me, because it's like you have like 100 kids that are there playing. It was so much fun. I don't know if he still does it. I hope he does, I'm
hoping so too.
If you have a son or daughter, because girls are also allowed to do this as well. They're allowed to be part of this. If you wanna like learn from a really good coach and just have some fun with it, go check that camp out, because I promise you it'll be totally worth it. It really will.
Absolutely.
Because, and Monmouth in general just does a good job with being a part of the community. I think that they do a good job.
They really
cost so damn much. How about that?
No, in all seriousness, though, they really do a tremendous job with the community and stuff. They really have done a lot. But no, yeah, it was after the first game that I did for the baseball team that I said I really, really would love to do play-by-play broadcasting for my career, or just broadcasting in general, whatever works. So that is pretty much how I got into the broadcasting business up until where I am at this point. And for those that have supported me along the way, I know, Neil, you are one of those people, and I thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to continue working with you down the road and seeing where things go for us. And to my family and my other friends out there, I thank you guys so much. I love you all, and I'm really, really excited to continue this journey along with Neil, like I said, right here on YouTube and also on Anchor.fm and Spotify, Apple, Google, all that fun stuff. But yeah, that's basically this is basically the introduction video, as we like to say. This way you know who we are, what we do, how we got here, what sports we're into. So, Neil, do you have any closing thoughts before we wrap it up?
No, I guess the only thing left I would just say is thank you all for checking out this video. And I hope that you guys, like, subscribe, and check out, more videos as they come along. It's going to be fun because, it gives you guys an opportunity to not only listen to the podcast, but, if you want to find a different way to check it out, now we got this. I could use Zoom background to kind of make it look a little cool here and there. But, I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys stick around long term, and, we're going to be doing it. And I think it'll be interesting, especially when we eventually find the cure for the coronavirus, because I think we will at some point. And we're
I actually, not to cut you off again, I apologize, but the really good news is that the curve is basically flattened at this point. A lot of cases are going down drastically. So here's to fingers crossed. This is a sign for hope around here in Jersey.
Yeah, we still have a lot of work to do. We still have to continue to follow the rules that our health advisors are telling us, because we got to this point by listening to them. And if we continue to do so, we will get we'll get to the end point, which is to find a cure and everything to be okay much quicker. But yeah, no, but thank you all again for checking this out. And the last thing I would say is just please be safe. I know there's a lot of craziness going around in the world in many different forms right now. But at the end of the day, I would say all you have is your personal integrity. You know what you are. You know who you are. You know what you're about. You know what you believe in and what you know is right and wrong. And just remember that. And I think if you remember that every day, it goes a long way. And also I would say, as a piece of advice to not only you, Jimmy, but to everybody listening, is you never know who you're talking to, honestly, especially in this business. You never know who you're talking to. You know, try to be nice to everybody you meet, and be nice to the people on the way up, because they're the same people you're going to meet on the way down.
Absolutely.
That's the way I look at it. So just continue to be, wonderful, tremendous people, and just be yourself. I know that's like such a corny thing to say, because everybody says, be yourself. Ooh.
It really is a fact, though. You gotta
be yourself, and just do that, because by the time you leave this earth, if you can say that you were able to be yourself and that you lived your life to the best that you could, and you constantly lived by all that's good about you, I think you lived a good life. No matter what else you did, I think you lived a good life. So make sure you do that. And I guess, to quote the great John Wooden, one of the biggest influencers for me, is every day, make every day your masterpiece. So, I mean, it's not like you have to do something spectacular every day, but if you accomplish one thing every day, you've had a productive day. It's not like you just like stay in your bed all day and watch, YouTube videos all day and things like that. But if you get up, if you do something productive, do a couple things, if you write stuff down and do them, it goes a long way. And if you write it down, I can't tell you the satisfaction that I've gotten from writing things that I need to do per day down and then looking them off as I go along. It's like one of the most it's one of the most satisfying feelings to have. So
no, absolutely.
Definitely live by, all those pieces of advice. And if you want any more, just contact me and I'll give you a whole list of them.
No, absolutely. And thank you for sharing all that, my friend. But on that note, that'll wrap it up for our introduction video. And again, you can follow us on Twitter. I am at BottomLineWMCX. Neil is at The NVP Show. And be sure that you check out Neil's book as well, JETS, Pain.
I need the money. Please buy my book.
Yes, please. No, seriously, though, it's a really good book. You should really check it out. He really is a tremendous writer. So please check out his book. But our actual first premiere episode will be coming later this week, June 9th to be exact, this upcoming Tuesday. And Neil, honestly, what a time to premiere, because we're going to have a very special guest coming on the podcast. If you guys don't already know him, he's everywhere on ESPN New York 98.7 FM. He is one of the co-hosts of The Michael Kay Show. We are having on the one and only Don Juan LaGreca, as Stephen A. Smith likes to call him. We are having Don LaGreca on the podcast. We'll be talking some Rangers. We'll be talking some Jets. We'll be talking about the current state of live sports returning with the NBA and the NHL and MLB, although MLB looks like it's going nowhere at this point. But we'll talk about that with Don when he comes on. But Neil, what a time to premiere it on YouTube this upcoming week. I'm really, really excited to have Don on. Yeah, same here. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I got a little surprise for Don on Tuesday. God. So, and everybody's going to be able to see it because obviously we're on YouTube as well. Yes. You get a chance to see it. And, it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys check this out and check out that episode. And check out all the other episodes that we're going to have up, because we're going to try to do like 2 a week. So make sure you guys check that out. Yep, two to three episodes per week. As always, you can find them in audio form, and they will keep being in audio form on Anchor.fm and as well as Apple, Google, Spotify. Of course, wherever you listen to podcasts, just be sure you subscribe, search for The Bottom Line Podcast, and include my first name, Jimmy, and subscribe to our new YouTube channel. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think, and please subscribe. It will help us tremendously. But we cannot wait to kick this off this week. For Neil Villapiano, I'm Jimmy Finizzi. This is The Bottom Line Podcast. And by the way, if you ever want to leave opinions on what we talk about, you can always hit us up on Twitter. Like I said, I am at BottomlineWMCX. What's that?
You can comment on this video.
Yeah, you can.
But that doesn't mean we're going to look at it anyway. So
you can do that too. You can leave a comment right down below this video or any other video that we post in the future. Or again, you can follow us on Twitter at BottomlineWMCX, at The NVP Show, but use the hashtag BottomLine. So again, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for allowing us to expand our platform. We cannot wait to kick this off. Stay tuned later this week for our special episode with Don LaGreca of The Michael Kay Show. For Neil Villapiano, I'm Jimmy Finizzi. This is the Bottom Line Podcast. We'll catch you later this week. Thanks for watching. Peace out.